Welcome to the special meeting of the Planning Commission where we review the capital budget. My name is Pierre-Louis Olivero, the chair. I'll do a roll call vote. Commissioner Bardenois, Commissioner Barocio, Commissioner Cantrell,
Here.
Commissioner Casey, Commissioner Garcia, Commissioner Ornelas Wise, Commissioner Rosario,
Here.
Commissioner Gordillos,
Here.
Commissioner Young,
Here.
myself here. Others will be joining by the time we have to take actions, but we can continue with the meeting. And at this time, if we're taking public comment, is there any hands raised for public comment during this period? And we're going to limit that to 1 minute since we have a lot to cover here in this capital budget.
Hi, Chair Oliver. I don't see any hands raised on the Zoom side.
Great. So then we will move on to the city's proposed capital budget. For staff to present.
Yes.
Wherever you like.
All right. I hope my counterpart is online as well. Good afternoon, commissioners. My name is Claudia Chang, and I am from the City Manager's Budget Office. Thank you for giving us this opportunity today to discuss the capital budget. I'm going to be giving an overview of the proposed budget, and I will go into detail about the funding sources for the capital program. And then I'm going to pass it along to Sal Kumar, who I believe is online from Public Works Department, to give a brief overview of each capital program and highlight some of the key projects. This budget could not have been developed without the assistance of staff of the various departments. I want to acknowledge their efforts and say a big thank you, because without you guys, there would be no capital budget. Next slide, please.
Someone's got the mouse.
Not me.
But you probably.
This is good. Ta-da.
No.
How do I?
That's stuck if it wasn't ready for someone.
Someone's operating that mouse. Because I think it was ever administrating the web meeting.
Jennifer. Yes. Oh, thank you, Jennifer. You there? Okay, good. All right. So the capital programs are organized by city service areas. We have 6 of them that are listed there. And so we have community and economic development, environmental and utility services, neighborhood services, public safety, transportation and aviation, and strategic support. And along with that, we have the 14 capital programs that are listed under each city service area. Next slide, please. The proposed budget is $5.2 billion for 23-24. And this is the total city budget. We have 137 funds, and we have 7,033 full-time positions. And so making up those funds, we have capital funds, which amount to $1.2 billion or 20% of the pie. We have the general fund, that's $1.6 billion, which is 26%. And then we have special funds that make up the last part, which is 54% of the budget. The focus today is going to be on the $1.2 billion capital budget. Examples of capital funds are the treatment plant capital fund, construction and conveyance tax funds, construction excise fund, and building instructor fund. For the general fund, the $1.6 billion, the largest expenditures are for the police department and the fire department, which make up over $800 million. And then we have Parks and Recreation Department and Public Works Department, which are the next largest budgets. The special funds make up the largest piece of the budget, and they have very distinct functions or enterprise. Examples are the San José Santa Clara Treatment Plant Operating Fund, Sewer Service and Use Charge Fund, Integrated Waste Management Fund, the Energy Operating Fund, and Airport Operating Funds. Next slide, please. So here's a picture of the budget over a 5-year period. For the next 5 years, the budget's supposed to be $3.2 billion. You'll note that in fiscal year 2024, that was the year of the largest CIP. And the reason for that was because in November of 2018, San Jose residents passed the Measure G Disaster Preparedness, Public Safety, and Infrastructure Bond. This measure authorized the city to issue up to $650 million in general obligation bonds for investments in city infrastructure, including upgrades to emergency and disaster response facilities, road reconstruction, flood protection, water quality protection, and improvements to other critical infrastructure. Next slide, please. So we have all the funding sources for the capital program listed in these various categories from ascending to descending order. That's how we get to the $3.2 billion for the next 5 years. The largest category being contributions, loans, and transfers. I'm going to go into details of the top 5 that are listed there. Next slide, please. The largest funding source category is called contribution, loans, and transfers. And the largest transfer that we have coming in is from the Sewer Service and Use Charge Fund to the Water Pollution Control Plant, which is $277 million, and to the Sanitary Sewer System Capital Program, which is $175 million. Fees that are paid by users of the sanitary sewer system are used for capital projects in both of these programs. And then the next largest transfer is a transfer from the airport operating funds to the airport capital program, which is about $148 million. The general fund contributes $66.2 million, and that's mainly to pay for fire apparatus replacement and radios and communication program. And then we have a large transfer from the water utility fund to the water utility capital fund, where revenue is collected from users of the 5 water districts to pay for capital projects that are in part of the water utility capital program. Next slide, please. The next largest funding source that we have is the beginning fund balance, which is about $658 million. And I've listed there the largest beginning fund balances. What this represents is that money that's carried over from the prior fiscal years. So, for example, in the traffic capital program, there's about $175 million that's going to be sitting in the beginning fund balance as of July 1, 2023. And so most of this money has already been reserved. We have plans for this money, and it's really pending the determination of final scope for projects, project locations, or possibly availability of future funding. But yes, this slide kind of gives you a sense of how much money is available in each of the capital program, and you can kind of get a gauge as to, kind of gives you an idea of how much work needs to be done, how many projects are outstanding as well. Next slide, please. So we depend a lot on using financing proceeds to fund some of the capital improvement projects. And the largest one is going to be for the Measure T program. And so this is the bond measure that I had mentioned earlier. And so during this 5-year period, we're going to be issuing close to $206 million of general obligation bonds. And the money will go towards the traffic capital program for pavement maintenance and other traffic capital needs, $159 million. Money is going to go towards the public safety program at $28.9 million, storm sewer at close to $16 million, and then the parks capital program at $6 million. I also want to note that in the water pollution control program, it's the second largest one in that category, because we're planning on issuing or using $190 million from wastewater revenue notes that will be used to implement capital improvement projects identified in the plant master plan. And then lastly, over $50 million in commercial paper is expected to be issued for the Water Resource Administration and Operations Facility, and also for the Advanced Meter Infrastructure Improvements Project that's going to begin in 23-24 in the water utility program. Next slide, please. And then another source of revenue is going to be money that we get from other agencies. And so we get a large chunk of money from the state. It's over $200 million. And the biggest chunk is going to be grants that are in the traffic capital program, mainly from state gas tax and state road repair and accountability act of 2017. And also in the storm program, we have 3 large grants from the state of California totaling $21 million to support the construction of green stormwater infrastructure projects. We also receive federal money as well, close to $160 million. And this is mainly from TSA/FAA grants for airport projects, about $132 million. Other agencies that are using the regional wastewater facilities contribute $208 million for capital projects at the plant. And then we also receive money from local agencies, the largest part being from BTA, which is close to $140 million to fund pavement maintenance. Next slide, please. And then another large source of revenue is from taxes, fees, and charges. This is over $500 million, right? And the largest source being from construction and conveyance tax, which is close to $215 million. And this is generally generated from private property sales. However, due to a slowdown in the local real estate market, the CNC collections are anticipated to be $40 million this year. And then it's going to remain flat for the next couple of years before it slowly climbs up again, which is very different because last year we had received $65 million. So we're expecting a change in the economy. And so it's going to be reflected in the CNC taxes. And based on a city council approved distribution formula, the money is distributed to parks, libraries, fire, service yards, park yards, and communication programs. The next large category that we have is from airport passenger facility charges, which is a fee charged to every enplaned passenger at the San Jose International Airport. Proceeds from this fee is used for debt service or for other capital projects. And then the next large category that we have is from building and structure construction tax, which is close to $95 million. And that's imposed on the construction, repair, or improvement of any building or structure where a building permit is required. The proceeds from the building and structure construction tax are restricted by ordinance to be used for the traffic capital program. And then lastly, we have the construction excise tax, which is also referred to as the commercial, residential, mobile home park building tax, which is imposed upon the construction, alteration, repair, or improvement of any building or structure that is for residential or commercial purposes or is associated with a mobile home. So those are the kind of categories that we have for the taxes, fees, and charges.
Is construction excise tax allocated to something specifically, or it's can be spent on anything?
It is a general purpose tax, but we generally use that money in the traffic capital program.
So both building and structures and construction excise.
Building and structure is restricted for the traffic capital program, whereas the construction excise is a general purpose.
And typically spent in traffic.
Yeah, so if you're asking for which two traffic capital program, the largest funding sources is the building and structure construction tax and the construction excise tax. Okay. Next, you're welcome. Next slide, please. And then now we're going to talk a little bit more about how we're using these funds. And I just wanted to give you a snapshot of where the largest, where the funding is by capital program from ascending to descending order. You'll see that traffic has the largest CIP program, which is about 27% of the entire budget at $873 million. And then we have the plant, airport, parks, sanitary sewer, public safety. We have the other category that is a little bit misleading. It looks as if there's $127 billion, but it makes up it is made up of a whole bunch of little programs like the service yard, maybe improvements, and others small programs. And then we have water utility at over $100 million, storm sewer, and then we have the library program that ending at $51 million. All right, so now I'm going to pass the presentation over to Sal Kumar, who should be virtual and will present the second half of this presentation. Sal? Sal?
There he is.
Oh, yeah. Sal, you're on.
Sal, you're on mute.
By that, some technical difficulties here, sorry. Thank you. Thanks, Claudia. Again, this is Sal Kumar, Deputy Director of Public Works. So the next slide over, please. Yeah, so this slide is kind of shows an overview of the city's capital program development and how it aligns with the goal of the general plan, as well as the city staff and public working together in development of the CIP. It's a team effort, and I would like to take this time to recognize and thank all of our partner departments that we in Public Works closely work with to deliver the projects in the capital program. Next slide, please. The Measure T Safety and Infrastructure Bond. In November 2018, San Jose voters approved the Measure T bond measure, which will provide up to $650 million in general obligation bonds for a wide variety of infrastructure needs, such as street repairs, public safety, flood prevention, LED lighting, and community emergency center repairs. We continue to focus on design and construction of multiple projects, such as relocating fire stations and police training center relocation. Next slide. Sanitary sewer system. It consists of over 2,000 miles of sewer mains serving the city of San Jose, as well as 3 other jurisdictions, and conveys the sewage to the original wastewater facility. The program priorities include, as you can see from the list on the right, our projects listed to improve sewer capacity, rehab, and of existing sewer systems. Next slide. The storm sewer system consists of roughly 1,100 miles of storm sewer mains and 31 storm pump stations. This is a separate system from the sanitary sewer system and collects stormwater that is eventually conveyed into the 2 main waterways in San Jose, Guadalupe River and Coyote Creek. The key focus of the CIP over the next few years will be to deliver of the Measure T funded projects, which will help alleviate flooding and drainage issues in Charcot area, as well as implement regional stormwater infrastructure projects to capture, filter, and treat stormwater before it's discharged into local waterways. Next slide, please. Water pollution control. The San Jose Regional Santa Clara Regional Wastewater Facility, RWF, is a wastewater treatment facility serving 8 South Bay cities and 4 special districts. A total of $781 million will be used to renovate and upgrade the RWF infrastructure to ensure the facility capacity and reliability of treatment planning process. This work is guided by the Plant Master Plan, which is known as PMP. $2 billion over 30 years, planning to implement more than 114 CIPs. As you can see from the list of projects, the focus is on upgrades, rehab, sizing retrofit, and improvements to the systems. Next slide, please. Water utility system capital program. The San Jose Municipal Water System provides water services to approximately 118,000 residents in 5 areas in the city of San Jose. The key focus of the CIP include the construction of new facilities, maintenance of existing facilities, as well as improvements to the water utility system facilities. One of the key projects in the CIP include this year is the water resource admin and operation facility, as well as North San Jose well development and construction.
Recording in progress.
Next slide, please. The library capital program objective is to provide accessible, quality library services to the residents of San Jose. The CIP provides funding to acquire physical and electronic materials, install automation equipment and systems, and support facility repairs and improvements. Some of the work funded by the Building Forward Library Infrastructure Grant includes roof and building repairs, repairs to boilers, chillers, heating, venting, and which is HVAC systems. Next slide, please. Park and community facilities. The Park and Community Facilities Program provides oversight of the planning and development of just over 3,600 acres of park and open space, 12 city-operated community centers, as well as over 65 miles of public accessible trails. The proposed CIP plans for over 200 major projects and over 100 small projects, such as Coyote Trail, all-inclusive playground at Almaden Lake, community center improvements, and Spartan Keys area park development. Next slide, please. Public safety. The major focus of public safety CIP is to deliver projects funded by Measure T bond measure, with roughly $113 million allocated to various projects. Few projects to highlight include new facilities such as Fire Station 32, which is northwest corner of 101 and Sawyer Road, Fire Station number 36, which is on Tours and Capitol Expressway. Relocation of existing facilities, Fire Station 8, which is in downtown San Jose, and relocation of police training center. This will allow full activation of South San Jose Police Substation. And the last one is the police fire air support at hangar at the Mineta Airport. Next slide. The airport CIP will continue to focus on projects identified in the master plan to improve efficiency, safety, and increase passenger services. Some priority projects include rehabbing of airfield pavement aprons. Next slide, please. The parking CIP maintains and improves existing parking facilities, upgrades and replaces both on-street and off-street parking equipment, and develops new parking facilities. The CIP includes the development of surface parking lots in the Deardown SAP area, providing funding for investment in on-street parking modernization projects, and surface preparation of new facade at the Market San Pedro garage. Next slide, please. The traffic CIP implements and manages a multimodal transportation system that is safe, efficient, environmentally sensitive, and maintained in the best condition possible. It includes investments targeted toward providing safe streets for all modes of travel and balanced transportation in support of ongoing initiatives such as Better Bike Plan 2025, Vision Zero, and General Plan 2040. The pavement transportation maintenance program maintains approximately 2,500 miles of pavement. And some of the projects to highlight are Better Bikeways San Fernando Street, Tully Road, and West St. Paul's corridor safety improvement projects and ongoing pavement maintenance projects. Next slide, please. The communications CIP fund improvements related to communications facilities that provide reliable and necessary safety-related communication equipment to city employees. The proposed CIP allocates ongoing funding to help replace radios that will reach their end of service dates. There are about 3,100 radios that belong to police and fire that will be looking at replacing in upcoming years. Next slide, please. Municipal improvements. The municipal improvements CIP provide improvements and maintenance for city facilities and their operating systems. And the goal of this program is to develop and maintain functional city facilities that meet the service needs of both internal and external customers. The CIP includes replacing chiller, cooling towers, and boilers for Tech Interactive, Center of Performing Arts, and San Jose Museum of Art. Next slide, please. Service yards. The objective of the service yard CIP is to maintain and improve existing conditions at this city's service yard by implementing projects that reduce safety hazards, increase efficiencies, and provide necessary equipment and maintenance for operation. Some of the major projects including roof replacements and fueling island and water main replacement at Central Service Yard. Next slide, please. And the lastly is the Developer Assisted Program, which is projects CIP, which includes multiple Road 20 AB undergrounding projects. Projects are developed working closely with utility companies. The Road 20A projects are funded through utility companies. And the 20B is developed by in lieu fees collected by the city. And these projects are prioritized based on level of fees collected. This concludes my presentation. Staff from all departments have been invited to this meeting. And if there's specific questions, they are able to respond. That I will open it for any questions.
Okay,
Yeah, and
Commissioner Rosario.
yeah, with the improvements to the substation in District 2, is still going to be only training in that substation? Is that correct? And the dispatch will still come out of downtown? Or will officers be dispatched from the substation?
Is there a police representative from the police department here? Okay.
I'm sorry, I think Lisa Perez can answer the question. Thank you, Lisa. Go ahead, Lisa.
Are
you able to hear me?
Yes.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, this is Lisa Perez from the police department. So With the full implementation of the training facility, we will be moving the academy and training to the new site, and we will open the substation to deploy Southern Patrol from the substation.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
I
Sure.
have a follow-up. What is the location of the new police training facility going to be?
It's on Enzo. It's
So is this where the existing training facility is, just an upgrade, or?
no, the existing the existing training facility has been at the substation. Substation is on Great Oaks Parkway, right next to the Costco. So we've converted it for the use of the academy and training. The new facility that we're building with the Measure T funds is on Enzo, which is a little further south.
Okay, so there's going to be a new substation and a new training facility, but different locations, is that correct?
The substation is not new, I'm sorry. The substation's an existing building that we're using for training, because we didn't have a training facility. The training that's occurring at the substation will be moved to the new training facility that we're building on Enzo, and we will reconvert the substation to its original use to be able to deploy a patrol out of the southern substation.
Okay. Chair, with your.
Yeah.
I have another police related question. Lisa, could you talk about the police air support unit hangar? What you have currently and what's being proposed?
So we are in a facility a little north of on the north end of the airport. We have our helicopter currently there and some other vehicles stored in the hangar. And then our air support unit is deployed out of there. The new facility that we're building is going to be next to the fire station on the other side of the airport. And we are hoping to build 2 bays, one for a helicopter and one for a fixed wing. We currently don't have a fixed wing, even though we have space for it in the current facility. But we are hoping that we have enough funds to build both so that we could house a fixed wing when we are able to purchase one.
Okay, and is the reason for the upgrade because the existing facility is just too old, too small?
I think.
Yeah, got a hand over here.
Yeah, at least I can answer that.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
I'm Judy Ross from the airport
Oh, hi.
department. And the reason that they're moving is the current hangars in the footprint of our tourist state expansion project. So,
Okay.
so that's why the new facility is being built and it's
Terminal.
subject to,
It's in the footprint for the Terminal C
yes.
expansion. Okay. Okay, great. Thank you.
Working our way around. Any questions from commissioners regarding the capital budget?
I did have a question regarding, you said that some money that came from mobile home improvements actually went into some sort of general fund.
Not general fund, it's a tax.
It's a tax.
It's a tax that's collected. And so it's a construction excise tax, but it's also known as commercial residential mobile home park building tax. And it's imposed upon the construction, alteration, repair, or improvement of any building or structure that is residential or commercial purpose or is associated with a mobile home.
So some of that money, where does that get allocated to?
Into the traffic capital program.
Just because I know there's a high concentration of mobile homes along the Monterey Highway. So we just want to make sure that some of that money went back into the community. Because, Monterey, currently is one of the most dangerous intersections. So just want to make sure that people that's pedestrian fatalities.
Did you want to add anything?
It's a great point, just because I'm deputy director for the San Jose Department of Transportation. Monterey and Kertner is unfortunately one of our highest fatality intersections in the city. And we have done some improvements. In particular, sort of improvements to make turns slow down at that intersection. Also some barriers to make sure people don't walk far away from the crosswalk so that they can be seen by other drivers more easily. And we have some work that we're doing with ETA on a more significant safety set of improvements for Monterey Corridor and the transit that's running along there. So it's definitely a key priority for us. The intersection along Kirtner, we also did redo that stretch of Kirtner moving westward from Monterey last year. It was done with our pavement maintenance program and additional striping, safety improvements there. Then, you know, as it extends to the east, it's actually Tully. And we have a major grant that's going into construction this year to improve safety along Tully as well. Yeah, thanks.
You know, another thing that I was going to ask you was to transportation, because obviously, you know, so much has changed, right? And now we have like Uber and Lyft, and a lot of people use that. So we really want to help as a city facilitate that type of ride sharing. And I went to, you know, Disneyland not that long ago, and I did see that they had a designated location for Uber, and they had benches. And I would like to see something like that in San Jose.
Yeah.
I think we're a big city, so that, you know, we could create some hubs where people could do that ride sharing and have benches for older people or disabled people. Yeah, and to make those types of improvements as well.
Yeah, it's a great idea. I don't know, Judy, if you want to talk about the airport at all, but it is something at major destinations that we've definitely looked into. And we're also seeking grants for some mobility hubs, which do have space like you're mentioning for ride share that's coordinated with transit and other what's called micro mobility, right? So people have the amenities that they need and all the services together. So I think it's a really great.
Yeah, because recently, because of the fact that there's been a lot of flexibility in parking requirements, and we're seeing a lot more projects, especially affordable housing projects and affordable senior housing projects with no parking. Of course, that's a big concern for me, because I think, like, you know, how you, like, as a mom, how are you going to go grocery shopping, and what are you going to do around someone that's elderly, right? You know, the parents are getting older, they're having mobility issues. So for me, it's essential that we have some sort of conditions of approval in place that require such improvements, either by the developer or whoever, that be part of it.
Yeah, regarding the airport, the transportation network companies can drop off in order to get the passengers closer to their gates. However, the pickup is in a defined location at Terminal A and at Terminal B. And in both locations, we have, I think, enhanced Wi-Fi services. So we have connectivity, and there's benches along the way. There's appropriate lighting because our peak times are like 6:30 in the morning, well, noon it's light, and then the other is 10, 11 o'clock at night. So we do have those amenities in the pickup locations.
Yeah, of course, I want to make sure that there's enough lighting as well for safety for women.
Yeah, we have many.
Okay, moving along. Any other commissioners' topics? Questions regarding the staff presentation? Yes, Commissioner
I'm
Cantor.
just kind of curious about I think it's the trail, the only trail I saw on that was the Story Road area. Can anybody speak to that project? What's planned? What's?
On Story Road?
Yeah.
Parks.
There's some park staff on Zoom as well.
Sarah, are you there? Sarah Sellers? Julie Jennings?
They all at the park?
Well,
How enjoying the trails?
I can speak to it. Well, I can also just speak to it generally. I'm there. My name is Randy Castillo. I'm Deputy Director for Capital Projects. And so there are sections of Coyote Creek Trail that have been implemented, and also additional sections that will be implemented in the coming years.
So I'm curious. Trails are coming. Yeah, so I'm just curious about what connections are being made. I know there are a number of spots along the way that, go ahead, please.
Yeah, well, you know, just because we work so closely together with the whole PRS team, As people may be aware, just 2022, the connection along Coyote Creek opened two-story road and then north of it past Happy Hollow all the way to Phelan. And then at Phelan, moving northward to Tully, there is one of the last gaps. And the PRS team had a breakthrough this year with the property owner there. And that project is going to move forward. I don't have an opening date for you, but it's really a big deal in terms of having that connectivity all the way from, north of 280, 100% on a trail to Morgan Hill.
That's what I was looking.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. And then I'm curious, are there any other major parks projects happening?
Julie Jennings is there.
So I can also jump in to help answer questions. So we have a lot of parks projects. So it's a little bit of a vague question, but I could tell you we have some really fun stuff coming.
I was interested in the more significant projects, not park maintenance projects.
Sure. Yeah, we have a few projects in the pipeline. So one item that you'll see in this capital budget is it's activating a reserve for Spartan Keys. So this project is at 3rd and Keys. It's south of the 280 in Council District 3. This one is really important because a lot of the projects in Council District 3 tend to happen in the downtown core. So this one is in a park deficient area. It's going to be really amazing for the community. We're just completing the master plan right now, and then we're going to roll right into design, development, and construction. It's about, I'm going to say, just over 3 acres. It's going to have a futsal court, playgrounds, plaza, lots of native gardens, and a really cute brick building on the corner that we're still trying to figure out what to do with, but it has a really interesting historic significance. We also have some projects coming downtown. So we have North San Pedro park blocks. One is under construction. It's called Pellier Park. The other one is called Bassett Park, although the name is not official yet. And that's going to be built right under, let's see, is that the Coleman overpass as it starts to climb? It's going to be built under that street there. I can't think of the exact other crossroad. And then that other one getting bundled together is North San Pedro. And that is where the street has been vacated, and we're going to be building a really amazing park there. So those are just wrapping up with design, have a few snags with street vacations and some high voltage PG&E coordination to do with Bassett, but we should be keeping those moving right along, and they should be going into construction hopefully this year if we could work through those snags. So those are some of the bigger projects. Happening in Council District 1 is a very, very important project for the community, and that's Payne Avenue Friendship Park. That's on Payne Avenue, kind of, I want to say by Winchester. But this one is really, really important because it's going to be built in a historically underserved community. So it has a community garden there, a playground, a basketball court, and that one is in construction now. Boy, I could keep going, but I think those are the ones that are really, really important and probably some of the most exciting ones.
Actually, I'm glad to see an actual lens towards equity too. That's really fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you, Jess, for jumping in on trails. You nailed it. I was trying to figure out how to join as a panelist, but yep, you absolutely got that right. We're filling in the gaps for Coyote Creek Trail.
Okay.
Could I ask?
Hang on a second, Commissioner, just since we're on the parks topic, for things that are unanticipated, such as the storm erosion of the Los Gatos Creek Trail that is taking that out of connection between Meridian and Lee, what's the plan there? Because that's capital in nature. Is it relying on a potentially federal FEMA grant, or how's that going to work?
Sorry, Julie, you want to jump in?
Yeah, sure. The FEMA projects are being coordinated through our department, through Public Works, and through Finance. And in order to receive the federal funding through FEMA, we need to follow their process. And so it's a complicated process. To be honest, we're still closing out the 2017 flood projects with FEMA. And, but yes, and then we will work to identify how we can do this given any insurance or FEMA money that we will also be receiving. That will be a bigger conversation to come up with that funding.
So Julie, is that repair of that trail a 2-year project?
I hate to say this, but anytime you're dealing with FEMA, it's a very lengthy process. So what might be done rapidly through Public Works tends to get extended. As I said, we're still working on some of the 2017 flood projects because of the bureaucracy of going through Cal OES and FEMA.
Well,
Right,
and
so-
just
Go
to
ahead.
add to that, so since FEMA is very complicated and it extends the process significantly, we're
Mhm.
really trying to distill the most important projects that absolutely need to use FEMA funding. For the Los Gatos Trail failure, we're still working with the council member to get approval of that funding, but I think the hope is to keep it moving quickly. We would look to the district's funding sources so we could get it repaired as quickly as possible, and then focus the larger flood-related projects to FEMA. So that's where we're going to be looking at using FEMA potentially for the Alum Rock Park road failure. That one is much more significant. So we're trying to not go the FEMA route if we can avoid it, because it will add years to the project. And as Julie mentioned, we're still working through the 2017 flood projects. So that's kind of the truly an emergency fund. And then we'll try and leverage our existing funding sources for the smaller projects.
And from what you know at this moment, is there sufficient funding to repair that failure?
Repair the
or
trail?
Not enough, yeah.
I think we're pretty optimistic because it's in Council District 6.
Oh,
And
yeah.
and you're saying there's sufficient funds to fix it?
So I think we have Park Trust funds available. I don't want to get too into the weeds with funding sources, but I think we're feeling pretty confident that since it's in CD6, we'll be able to leverage the development fees that come in to fix the trail. And we're going to try and get it done as quickly as possible. So we're looking at permitting and design, followed by construction. We're hoping that within a year, we'll have it rebuilt and open back to the public.
Yeah.
Thanks for providing a timeline, or at least somewhat a time. So,
Yep, absolutely.
Commissioner Young.
No, I just had one Parks question. And I'm sorry, I thought I made a note, and I'll try to pronounce this correctly. It was the East San Jose Movimiento, either park or,
That's a transportation plan.
Oh. okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Could you, sorry, wrong department. Mind just talking about that briefly?
Yeah, absolutely, Chair.
Yeah.
So our city development plans, as you know, as planning commissioners, generally follow the urban villages. And one of the things that we have been doing in recent years is zooming out from those urban village plans to do a comprehensive area transportation plan around them, because we know that transportation isn't stopping at those borders, right? Where the land use changes. So Movimiento was actually our first of these plans for the urban villages, kind of from basically our location to the east along Santa Clara Street, the Alum Rock corridor, and the other urban villages that extend from it. So that it's a pretty large area plan with a host of transportation improvements that got more detailed than they could have in the urban village plans, and that we're looking to implement now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the timeline for those improvements is?
So it varies. There were, I believe, 17 different priority projects in that. So some of them are funded and moving toward construction with grant funding. We've got what's called a Quick Strike grant from MTC, which is federal funding that we're using to implement some of the improvements from Movimiento. We're doing a big corridor effort along King Road that was called for in Movimiento as well. But that's a longer timeline, and we did get some funds to do design and environmental work along streets like Jackson as well. So it depends on the location and the project.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, I just have a quick question. Do you implement any public art within these improvements?
Yeah, so thank you. It's a great question. We do try to implement public art when we can per grant guidelines and other things. We are currently looking at an asphalt art project with the OEDCA, Office of Economic Development and Cultural Affairs team. Right now, we also in our San Antonio Safety and Bike Lane Improvement Project a couple of years ago, we worked with local artists to do some stamp designs that we added to the dividers. So we do look for those opportunities. We don't always find them, but we definitely try to. Yeah.
Okay, moving around. Anyone else in the commission? Questions, comments?
I think I saw that there was shelters also included. Is the shelters also included?
It's a medical project that's being managed by Parks and Recreation Pavement Services.
Yeah, I think it just didn't seem like it was getting that much funding compared to some of these other funding. And when you look around into the community, you see such a high homeless population. Obviously, you know, one of the priorities should be to house the poor. Right?
Those are emergency shelters. So if there's some type of storm or whatnot, then one of these community centers will be available and we'll have cots and food, equipment and whatnot to deal with emergency. Those are emergency shelters. Yeah, which is emergency funding.
Sure.
Can I ask a follow-up question? So I work at a high school in Eastside, and there was some police activity, and I had to open up the gym for an emergency situation. Are those cots mobile? I mean, do they ever get deployed to certain parts of the city where people can't go to these hubs? But there's need for such amenities.
I think I'm gonna have to follow up with your question later.
It's more of a service question than a capital improvement program.
Right, because we have an Office of Emergency Services, and so they probably would be able to answer your question for you.
Yes, Commissioner Young.
First of all, I just wanted to thank the staff that's here. I know it's a long work day for you folks and taking time away from your families, so thanks for being here. I'm an ex-local government guy, so reading this is like, you know, crack cocaine. We all live there. Yeah. Maybe that's bad. Maybe that's bad. I just want to compliment the manager's office, finance, all of you. It's a really, really great report. Really well done, very comprehensive. I have sort of more of a global question, I guess, and that is, you may have answered it with the Measure T, but my question is why there's a chart that shows that the CIP has actually gone down significantly from last year. And I'm never used to seeing that in a government budget, so I'm just wondering why that occurred.
That's a really good question. So I don't think I mentioned this.
It was in
You
I
can see
saw
it
a
though.
couple places. It was
Yeah.
in the manager's budget message.
Yeah, you can see it. So last year's budget was, last year's 5-year budget was $3.4 billion. And right now we're at $3.2 billion. And you're wondering why it went down.
Mhm.
So what hasn't occurred yet are our rebudgets. And so projects that will not be finished this year in 22-23 will be rebudgeted to 23-24. So we think that that's going to add about at least $800 million or so to the budget. So now we think the budget will be closer to 3.8, just under $4 billion.
Okay.
Yes, that process hasn't happened yet.
Is part of that because of Measure T or?
No, it's just the
No.
timing. We kind of wait
Okay.
till towards the end of the fiscal year before we ask departments to take a look at their projects, see where they're at. Are they going to finish them this year? If not, then let's carry the money over to the next fiscal year.
Okay. Okay, great. Chair, I have a few specific questions, but I want to be sensitive to the time.
Yeah, absolutely. And can we pause for a minute? Because I know Commissioner Tordillos had a question.
Mine is also fairly specific.
Yeah, let's go for it.
I saw that there was mention of the temporary parking lot construction near Deerville. So I'm just curious, can you speak to, I guess, the context and goals of that and what impact, if any, potential delays or those plans might have there?
Sure, that's a great question. You're used to seeing me now, I'm just saying, as Deputy Director for DOT. So this is a temporary parking lot at what's called Milligan. It's at the corner of St. John and Old Autumn. And it is part of meeting our obligations to the Shark Sports and Entertainment, our partners at the SAP Center. This is actually an obligation that involves maintaining a certain amount of available parking throughout the area within a third of a mile and then a half mile around the arena. And it does completely predate any work with Google. And so, especially given BART construction starting next year, it is important for us to move forward with that temporary parking location. We say temporary because one of the options for that land down the road is actually to extend Barack Obama Boulevard on the Parkway directly to the new extension there. That's one of the options in the Deer Down Station area plan for that land. So in the long term, it's not expected to be a parking, but in the near term, it is really needed to meet our obligations.
That makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
Great. Back to Commissioner Young.
Being an ex-fire guy, I'm gonna give a shout out to the two chief officers that are here. Thank you for being here in person and not on Zoom. I wanted to ask the two fire stations that are being proposed, the two new stations, how did you select the locations for those?
So fire stations 32 and 36 are the next two. They are both located pretty much along the McLaughlin corridor. The evaluation, two stages of evaluation. One was a third-party standards of cover evaluation for the entire city. That is the study that re-identified Station 37 on Lincoln Avenue as the most important project for us. So that study also identified areas where we were struggling to meet response times. What became very apparent in that study and an internal study that we did is that the 101 corridor kind of split the city, obviously split the city, but it also splits the city when it comes to resourcing incidents that are occurring. And what we found was poor performance along that corridor. And what we anticipate with the additions of Station 32, which is near McLaughlin and Story Road, and Station 36, which is McLaughlin and Capitol, is going to really reinforce response times throughout that area and will protect the east side from having resources come over when larger incidents are breaking.
Great, thank you. I have a couple of airport questions. One is airfield configuration updates. A lot of money. It was 26 million this next year and then 85 million the following year. So I was curious what that is.
Yeah, back in 2017, we did a study funded from the FAA. It's called the Runway Encouragement Mitigation Study that looked at the airfield geometry. Because over the years, the FAA has changed the geometry from various experiences at different airports across the country. And so from that study, it has significant improvements identified to our airfield geometry. The major portion of that money in the near term is the construction of a new taxiway Victor on the west side of the airport. So that taxiway will be constructed in phases as we get grants throughout the years. Moving from that project, there's several connector projects on the east side that will be adjusted as well. So for the next 10, 15 years, you will see fairly large value of airfield work done because of that geometry study. However, the FAA has funded and has identified funding for those projects up to 80%. So, so majority of it will be funded by federal grant.
Are the two main runways going to be affected or is it more just the taxiways?
It's the taxiways.
Okay, and that's for safer operations at the airport.
Yeah, because safety is our number one focus, and we want to make sure our field is as safe as possible into the new standards.
Okay, and then there was a bioretention project. I'm just curious about that.
The bioretention project is related to the interim facility that was built in 2018-19, the 6 temporary gates. And then when COVID hit, we got a little bit longer than we desired. However, working with ESD, we identified a location in our long-term parking lot for a bioswale that meets the requirements of that interim facility. And actually that construction will be completed shortly.
What is, I'm not familiar with the term bioretention. So what does that mean?
It's an area where water flows into, and it has special soil and special plants to absorb water. And cleanse it.
That's the runoff from the runways?
It's the, where it's located, it's basically the runoff from that parking lot will go into that, but it meets the requirements for what we needed for that facility.
Okay, great.
So it's a nice swell.
It's a little late, but. It's so good.
Do we have time for a couple of publishers questions?
Yeah.
We do, okay, all right. The, where did I write it down? Large trash capture program in stormwater. I'm really intrigued by that. I wonder if somebody.
Matthew? Nguyen, are you online? Catherine Brown?
Hi, sorry. Yeah, this is Matthew Nguyen. I'm a Deputy Director for Public Works, oversee the Transportation and Hydraulic Service Division in Public Works. Regarding the large trash capture device program, this is a new program. Well, it's not new. It's been going on for about over 10 years. And this is part of the requirement from the California Regional Wastewater Regional Board requirement, where all of the city will have to find a way to capture all of the trash down to 5 millimeters before it gets to the creek and rivers around the area. So in the city, we start this program a while back, and we have been able to build a total of 32 large trash capture devices in the city, as well as about 107 smaller trash capture in the catch basin. So with this device in place, we were able to meet the requirement from the water board. I hope that answers your questions.
It does, thank you. And then for water, the advanced metering.
Yep, that would be me.
Okay, great, thanks.
What kind of question do you have?
I'm just curious what that is, because it looked like a pretty significant chunk of money.
Good afternoon, I'm Jeff Provenzano, the Deputy Director of Environmental Services Department, and it's an automated metering infrastructure. What that is, it's like a smart meter that we go to every customer, the cloud-based app on the phone, instantaneous reads, alerts, water notifications, outreach and communication back and forth. So it's definitely taking technology from 10 years ago and just applying it to an old practice of metering water.
Okay, so then you no longer have to have people go around and read the water meters, is that correct?
That is correct. We do something called advanced metering. Advanced metering now. We drive around and pings into a device in the car.
Oh, okay.
And so it'll be a little bit different. Yeah, it's all cloud-based now, but we'll have to reskill some of the staff. It's new technology. And so we'll have to reskill staff on how to adapt and provide support with that newer type of technology. Yes, and that's where San Jose Municipal Water System, San Jose Water Company, is also right now implementing it. And they're served about 80% of San Jose. And they have about a $120 million project. They got approved through the CPUC about a year ago. And they're in the early stages of implementing that project. So it'll take about 10 years.
So that's a great project. Absolutely. Saves you a lot of money, keeps you from wasting water when the toilet's running and you just, it's perfect. I'm curious though, if there's any training for consumers is a part of these programs, because you don't know, you don't use it, who's going to take care of it.
Absolutely, a lot of outreach that'll be in the beginning because it'll be an app, and so we'll have to different languages too in that app, and so there'll be a lot that goes along with that, implementing that program to get people signed up, and that'll be just when we get it going. It may take a year or two to get a high participation in. That'll be a focus of ours.
We get to start somewhere, right? Thank you.
Thank you. And then I think the last question I had was on, if I can find it here. Oh, I noticed quite a bit of funding for Montague Expressway. I thought the expressways were funded by the county.
Hi there, Jessica Singh. The expressways are operated and maintained and approved by the county. The funding for Montague Expressway is due to the city's settlement with the county over North San Jose last year.
Okay. I vaguely remember that.
Yeah.
Could you just talk a little bit about what that settlement was?
Yeah, absolutely. In 2005, the city adopted a large area development policy for North San Jose with a host of transportation improvements. This is the short version. We still had a redevelopment agency. It was still very active in North San Jose. And so that list of transportation improvements was long and expensive. And so when we were coming to terms with retiring is not the precise attorney name, I apologize, Johnny Finn and other attorneys, but retiring essentially the North San Jose plan, we still had a discussion to be had with the county about those transportation improvements. And where we settled with them was on a certain set of improvements, especially along Montague 880, et cetera, that were in the original bundle of projects and that we would maintain a financial commitment to.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, let's go back around. Anyone else?
I'm just curious because I know that there's the county and there's the city. Unfortunately, in the county, there's no sidewalks in some areas, some urban pockets that are great. Of course, for the children, the families, I would like to see sidewalks and to make sure that, whatever you can to ensure that there's sidewalks for kids to go to school.
Well, I think just alone in the city, not every city block has a sidewalk, so that would probably be the highest priority, but just.
Well, maybe some of the ones that were recently annexed that were in the county.
Right, exactly. County pockets are one of our highest concentration of sidewalk gaps or missing sidewalks that we do have. Actually been updating our inventory so that we can have a clearer sense of where the gaps are throughout the city and how to then prioritize them using different metrics and then seeking funding to do that, because those are not, when those annexations happen, we typically don't get money to do those types of improvements that we would otherwise expect to have according to our current developments.
And on the topic of settlements, the city had to take in a lot of annexed property because we had a settlement with the county and nothing came with it. And so the city was obligated to bring those neighborhoods up with infrastructure. So lots of joy.
Yeah, right.
So rounding out our discussion and presentation on CIP, I don't see any more questions.
I just have a question.
Yes.
Regarding the airport, the runways. Is there any plan to extend the runways? Because I know that there's a lot of, FedEx and all this Amazon, everyone's shipping stuff, right? And there are these large cargo planes that are heavier that need a longer runway. And they're forced to have to not land in San Jose and land in other places. That's, what I've been told. So I just wanted to know if we're planning to expand those runways to accommodate that growth and change.
We just had a airport master plan update approved in 2020, and there's no plans to update or to expand those runways. With that, right now we feel our runway lengths and the two runways are adequate. It's also part of that plan. We did close the third general aviation runway, and that's where picture is going. So there's no plans right now, but if you look at even the ends of the runway, we have, I believe, 87 on one end, or maybe it's 101, and then the 880 on the other end. So to do anything is very, very difficult. Then as far as cargo, we do have a curfew from 11:30 to 6:30, and that's the period of time most cargo operators operate. So our cargo operations, we do have FedEx and we do have UPS and then belly cargo, but their operations are very small compared to a lot of other airports. And to some extent, one of them does land and drop off cargo, I think in Oakland or San Francisco, then ferries down here to pick up cargo. So, and all depends the origination of the cargo because they have customs facilities and we don't. To that extent, So, we don't expect significant cargo relative.
Because I know that there's been so much talk about the airport on the east side closing down, the impacts that will have on the airport.
Well, you're mentioning Reedview Airport. Reedview is not within our responsibility. And they're a county airport. They're general aviation, so it's a different character of airport. They were determined a reliever airport, and sometimes not sometimes, the theory is to ensure the safest and operating environment possible is to separate the high performance commercial aircraft from the smaller general aviation aircraft, because high performance is going at such a speed for general aviation, is the smaller general aviation is and the propellers are rather slow. So we like to keep that separation, and it's for safety purposes. We do have some small general aviation contingency on the airport that's been on the airport for several years, but it's very small. They generally fly on the weekend, and our air traffic controllers are great about making sure there's separation at those times when they do fly. But as far as capacity at Reedview, and there's also a very active flight school from San Jose State University. There's other general aviation airports in the region that may be able to accommodate them if at such point the decision is made that that airport is no longer operating. But it's very difficult to close an airport in the US. I hope that answers your question.
Okay, we'll need a motion to accept this report. Hey, Commissioner Cordios with the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, right. Any other comments or discussion on the, what's that? So we already had a public comment. Yeah, yeah. All right, so we will now move to a vote of accepting the staff report, and then moving on to City Council. Commissioner Lauren Wong,
Yes.
Commissioner Barosio.
Yeah.
Commissioner Cantrell,
Yes.
Commissioner Casey.
Yes.
Commissioner Garcia. Commissioner Ornelas Wise.
Yeah.
Commissioner Rosario.
Yes.
Commissioner Cardios.
Yeah.
Commissioner Young.
Yeah.
And myself, yes. And I think now we will just adjourn to have another meeting in 20 minutes with the regular planning commission meeting in the council chambers.
I guess we-
So thank you.